Hello, I'm Leroy Garcia, and this is Blue Rain Gallery Podcast. Today, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what we do as Blue Rain Gallery a few or more times a year, where we do shows on the road. So we usually pair up with marketing people that produce shows, whether it was through SOFA or the LA Art Show or whatever. Well, today we're in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Ferrari Scottsdale Art Week. And so we're going to give you a little preview of what we do. Anyways, we'll start by showing you some Ferraris. How's that? So the Ferraris were at the main entrance of the exhibit. There are Ferraris scattered throughout the hall, I will not take you on a journey through the hall necessarily, but this is the entrance, the main entrance, and Blue Rain has a booth right in the front. So let's go check out this booth. So we come to these shows to give people an idea of what Blue Rain Gallery is. It's very eclectic. We have representational art, we have figurative, we have glass, bronze, Western heritage, Native American. It's all infused together. And so it's within a tiny bubble here, we try to give people a kind of a breadth of what Blue Rain Gallery is. Behind me, and we'll give you a walkthrough of the setup, but we also want to give you an idea of what it takes. So we'll show you a video of our installation. Before all the art was in here, it was just white walls, and me and Peter and my daughter produced this show. So come on and let's take a little tour. So one of our top artists is obviously Preston Singletary. And we'll bring at great lifting and exercise some of his lead crystal castings, which sometimes weigh up to 300-400 pounds. Good thing me and Peter have great backs, but this is a story, a totem story of Preston's family. And along with that, we were able to bring some examples of his blown glass. And we brought maybe 4 or 5 pieces, which you can see here along this wall. And all kinds of forms, whether it's the abstract forms or figurative forms. Preston Singletary is, obviously we've covered him before, is considered a pioneer of contemporary glass art. Which brings me to another point, Billy Schenck. Billy Schenck is also a pioneer. And we want to expose people to Billy Schenck as well because he's considered a pioneer of Western pop art. And he's had a wonderful journey, started in New York, moved out west, became a pretty famous cowboy, prize-winning rodeo champion in sorting. And we're very blessed to have him and have his work here. The other person we want to cover here is Dan Friday. And this is a new piece by Dan, based on a peacock and peacock forms with cane work in the glass. Dan was introduced to us by Preston Singletary. Dan is also a Native American glass artist, and his work represents his tribal affiliations, the Lumi tribe, or inspirations from his tribe. So let's go back here and look at some more of his work. Here we have a totem of Dan, which he's pretty famous for. A lot of Dan's work is not necessarily blown off in a bubble format. This is furnace work, so it's very thick. When natural light hits it, it really glows. It's hard to get that aesthetic in a little booth like this with poor lighting. But in this case, he's attached the totem to a blown form on the bottom. Also, we brought a diverse grouping of his other things, more furnace work in the bears, this totem. His other things that we brought were his baskets. a lot of these baskets were inspired from his aunt, Fran, whose work is actually in the Smithsonian and was a big influence in Dan's life. Another one I want to point out, though, before is the new form he brought up with the peacock flare. Dan is continuing to innovate, and he's doing very well. We're very blessed to have him. We'll now talk a little bit about more of the painters that we brought. So over here, by Dan's work, we have Robin Jones, who's a fairly new artist to Blue Rain Gallery. She's been showing with us for about 4 years now and is very innovative. She usually paints on aluminum or panels, and it's just beautiful work. You can refer to some of our old podcasts with her for more reference, but this is a very small rendering exposure for her at shows like this, but it's important that people get a chance to see her work. Then we brought pieces by Chris Papan, who's a ledger artist, but in a contemporized way. In fact, Chris is one of the few artists that we have that's really collected across the country by museums lately. A lot of the work goes to museums. People don't realize that. But he's added a new depth or personality to what the old ledger drawings are, but more in a contemporized way. And also, we brought in a new artist to us, Karen Clarkson. And Karen's awesome. These paintings are beautiful. They're mostly figurative formats. She's self-taught, and she's amazing. For more reference, go to her website and look at her drawings if you want to know how great an artist she is. But even her oil renditions are fantastic. You can also refer to podcasts we've done with her on our website as well. We couldn't come to the show without bringing somebody who is enamored by the landscapes of the West. Zizi Wei, who's from China, actually escaped communism and moved to America. But when he came to America, he was shocked by the vast expanse. Growing up in China in concrete jungles, you don't realize the horizons. But when you come to the West, and he moved to Seattle, but he loved going to Walla Walla, Washington, where there was fields and pastures and all kinds of things. And what a wonderful and amazing artist. You can also refer to him or refer to his podcasts on our website as well. We're really happy to also bring a young whippersnapper with us, G.L. Richardson. And GL is a young artist who's enamored with the Western heritage, ranching and raising cows and sheep and just the life of a cowboy in a sense. And a lot of his images represent that lifestyle. And they're very wonderful in that they make you think a lot. What is he really sending as far as messaging here? And you can also refer to his podcasts on our website. And this is Rosita Santiago. Rosita is a mainstay at Blue Rain Gallery. We've represented her now for about 14 years. And she really represents, the past feelings of Native American beauty in the Southwest, particularly from the Pueblos, as you can see from this piece and this piece. One of my favorite pieces, though, is this one right here, which is a painting she did of my daughter, Elena. And Rosita is very diverse. She can paint anything, but very, very happy to have her here. Last but not least, we wanted to introduce people to some of our more contemporary art, and this is Erin Currier. One of my favorite paintings she's done is of Mike Tyson. It's fantastic. This is all mostly collage. This one's mixture of collage and paintings. Well, all three of them are. But fantastic artist. Her show will be at Blue Rain Gallery at the end of June. I'd like to invite everybody to participate and check her out. You can also look at her podcasts on our website as well. Well, that's a quick tour of Blue Rain Gallery on a road show. I hope you enjoy some of the images that we've shown you and also the install setup, which is really funny. I hope you use the Benny Hill Leia on that. We'd like to encourage you to subscribe to our podcast on any platforms. If you can't do that, you can always go to blueraingallery.com on the menu bar, podcast. Also want to encourage everybody to visit our online store where you can bring art into your everyday life, bluerainprintshop.com. Thank you.